Hey, how's everyone doing? I hope good. I'm okay right now, but we're not going to get into that. What we're going to get into today is Premature. I watched this movie, I think like 2 years ago or something like that, but I rewatched it yesterday, and I have some thoughts. I have some notes. The first time I watched it, I was like, okay, I get the concept, I get the idea, but this time I have something to say, and it's all about Isaiah. Literally, fuck Isaiah. Every Isaiah I have met is not a good person. And I don't know what it is about that. Maybe because their name is biblical and like the evil just comes into their body more easily. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I feel like that's going on with the name Isaiah. But I digress. I digress. So Premature is basically about this 17-year-old girl. She lives in the city, New York City, and she's like planning to go away for school eventually. Like this is her last year, like this is her last summer before she goes away for college. And she meets this guy, they fall in love, this, that, and the third. So it's kind of like a coming of, it's not kind of, it is a coming of age story. um there's aspects, I mean, it's like, this is a black movie. Majority of the characters, if not all, are black. I only remember seeing black characters, which I love. I love a good black movie. um there is some love, but my issue with the love, which is a main point of the story, is that the man she falls in love with, he's older than her. He's a young producer, but she is 17 and he's like in his early mid 20s. I don't know how old. So I'm already like, red flag, red flag, red flag. You're weird. But the movie does a good job not romanticizing like age gap relationships. Um, because they show the difficulty and like the hurdles like people who engage in age gap relationships go through, also like the power imbalance too. You can see it through the relationship. So I think this does a pretty good job not like influencing the public to be swayed by like, oh, age gap couples aren't that bad. No, girl. No, girl. And I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it. I love the title of the movie too, because Premature makes so much sense. Like, this relationship was, she's too young, like it was too early for her to get into this connection, and he is also still very immature. So I think this connection wasn't right for him either. And I'm gonna get into Isaiah right now. I'm gonna get into Isaiah because I cannot stand that man. So I think I have three main points that I want to get to about Isaiah. The first one is when um, um, Isaiah, Ayana, the main character, and her friend and Isaiah's cousin are like playing a game at his house, at Isaiah's house, and his ex girlfriend shows up. She has a key, and she wants to talk to him. We find out that Isaiah just like ghosted her. He hadn't really broken it off because he wasn't in love with her. Um, I think that's incredibly crazy. Mind you, that's the girlfriend was white too, so it was like it was kind of shocking for Ayana to like have this like guy with like this white girlfriend. Like, it was a crazy moment. But she's like very vocal and opinionated about her feelings. So she's like, what's going on? What is this? He basically says that he didn't tell her that he didn't want to do this anymore. Basically, he like kind of ghosted her, which I think is very immature. And you can, that's like a sign of like a big immaturity. Like, you lack proper communication skills. And like, you'll see he has poor communication skills throughout the movie. Um, and Ayana has like, she's very confident, especially in the first scene. You see her as very confident. She says what she feels, and I think in that moment too, like, you see like she's very hurt and like disturbed by this, like what's going on. Like, if you can ghost her like that, what makes you, if something happens, like, are you gonna do the same thing to me? She's questioning him. Because if you're older, like, wouldn't you have the common sense and the maturity to know that something like that can really hurt a person and it's better to communicate? But that pissed me off so bad. That was strike one for Isaiah. Um, I'm gonna get into strike two. Strike two is Isaiah is supposed to meet Ayana, Ayana. I keep saying her name wrong. I need to pay attention. Well, he's supposed to meet her and her friends for dinner, right? And he shows up late. And mind you, the reason he shows up late is because he just found out that a black man, an unarmed black man, um, was shot in his building. Not Isaiah's building, but in the man's building. Like coming up the stairs or like in the stairwell or something like that. And he's really disturbed by it. Great. I understand that. Um, when he shows up, he says, because they're in the middle of a conversation, he's like, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt or something like that. No apology, no explanation as to why he was late. I think that's like I think that's rude. I know you just heard something shocking, something disturbing, and it's traumatic, especially for a black man. But there is common courtesy, and they're not mind readers. They can't pick up on like why you're late or why you're feeling like this. I mean, Ayana asked, "Oh, is everything okay?" Because she noticed something was off about him. But um, one of the friends asked basically, "So why are you late?" And he said this. He said the whole thing that he found out, and she's like, "Oh, I heard about that, but like the thing is, you're supposed to like say your prayers, and keep it pushing. Like this thing happens all the time, right?" That's her point of view. Um, mind you, they're all like Ayana and her friends. They're all 17. They're all 17, they're all young, so, like, their ideas of things might be a little skewed, and also it's very common to be, what's the word? Desensitized to violence against Black people as a Black person because you've witnessed it so much, and I think that's where she was coming from too. So, instead of, like, trying to de-escalate the situation, he gets into it with her basically and says, like, as a Black woman, she wouldn't be able to understand where he's coming from, and that's the problem, and it makes it seem like, oh, she doesn't go through things as a Black woman too, or, like, the plight of a Black man is trumps the plight of a Black woman, basically. And he storms out. Ayana follows after him. I just feel like he could have done a better job to de escalate the situation. And him not being able to do that, him not being able to apologize for being late, and him not being able to like de escalate that situation as the adult in that situation is crazy to me. Like, how old are you? And you're hanging out with like 17-year-olds right now. Like, how old are you and you can't de escalate the situation and you're the one who storms out? Is that not insane? Like, as a grown man, is that not insane? Is that not bonkers to you? Um, that really just that was so crazy. And like Ayana, she follows after him, and like that scene when she's following after him and he kind of ignores her a little bit, and like she's chasing after him, it kind of feels like how their relationship. It kind of symbolizes their relationship, like him in the front and her taking a back seat, basically. Um, another, another. This is the big one. This is the big one that bothered me so much about him. Like it bothered me so bad, so bad. Um, okay, so Ayana, she gets pregnant, right? Um, but she doesn't tell him, you know. At one point they're having a conversation. She's like, what if I stay and like go to school here, this, that, and the third? And he's like, where's this coming from? And she's like, I don't know. You don't want me to stay? He's like, no, it's not that. It's just like sudden or whatever. He's like, yeah, I would love it if you stayed or blah, 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 blah. But like at that point she was pregnant. And I think, um, I don't know her thought process. I feel like she was scared and like not sure what to do because she's so deeply in love, and I think she also knew that he didn't want a kid. So I don't know what she was thinking of doing, basically. But I think in her head, like in her fantasy, because she's so deep in love, she's 17, she's like, oh, maybe I'll have this baby and like we'll be together and it'll be like a cute like family thing, and like I'll be in school and doing this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? I think that's what her thought process was. But again, she's like 17, she's a baby. Um, she gets an abortion. I think she gets an abortion. And the way the film shows it, it's she's like disassociating through the process, like in the doctor's office, and when she's at home, like it's such a traumatic experience for a young woman to go through, especially a 17-year-old. Um, Especially after he just like broke up with her. He broke up with her. He told her like we need to slow things down after like that whole interaction um, with her friend. Like he was like we need to slow things down, basically. Blah, this, that, and the third. Blah 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 blah. So she's going through this whole process alone, all by herself. She calls her friend over because she's like breathing in pain. She is like there's so much blood. She's just stricken up, like she's in pain. Her friend comes over. They're talking. Her mom comes over after work later, and you see Ayana like in this towel. She looks so small and weak and frail, and her mom just like places her forehead on her daughter's forehead. And in this scene, like you can really see like she feels like a child. You know, she feels like a child, and she just went through this traumatic experience. And the way Isaiah finds out about it is from his cousin who's dating Ayana's friend. Um, and he, of course, like if you hear about um about this pregnancy, like okay, you would feel a type of way. I guess that like she didn't tell you about it. You're hurt. Okay, but she just went through this traumatic experience like by herself, literally by herself. And you're telling me you can't talk to her? You're pushing her out of your apartment building door? Are you insane? Are you not okay? It's late at night. Like you have no concern for her well being, and this is the person you supposedly loved. Are you serious right now? You're being an asshole. Like you're being a dick. Like, are you serious? It was just watching that, I just felt so bad for her. especially she keeps blowing up his phone. She keeps texting him. She keeps trying to check in on him, and he's not having it. And like, it's just awful. Like, as a girl, you went through this traumatic experience by yourself, and the person that you love isn't like there for you in any way, shape, or form. It like sucks. Um, I think it's odd, like how his perspective of her shifts. I don't know if in the beginning, like, I don't know if he's always seen her as just like this young girl or whatever, but like through the film, you see like something in him changes, and he sees her as just like a girl, basically, as just a young girl. Um, but at the same time, he's just as immature, and it really pisses me off so much. Because there's a scene where she's at a party. Isaiah comes a little bit later, but she's at a party. She's dancing with this guy that she knows. Isaiah walks in, then he walks out. Ayana didn't even notice, but he comes back later on. You can see like she can tell like something's a little bit off. He's like, "Oh, I'll get you. I'll fix your drink, or whatever." This, that, and the third. Um, they're walking home. There's distance between them. Something's off, and she's trying to figure it out. Um, when they get into it, when they have sex that night, it feels different than how it usually is. Usually, there's a closeness, there's a connection, but it felt so distant that time. And this goes into his like poor communication skills. Like, such terrible, terrible communication skills. Like, you see this, you feel some type of way, you don't even discuss it. Like, you just brush it under the rug, and now you're like, oh, this girl is young. Like, she's like young. She's acting like a thought. Like, are you serious right now? And he didn't say all that, or I don't know if he thought all that, but it felt like that's how he thought. Like, he thought like she's just young. That's it. And this girl is like deep, deep in love with him. Like, deep, deep in love with him. I think she would literally do anything for him. There's just so many points when when he like takes her to his recording studio, and like she's with his artist and his friends or whatever, and they're having a discussion. Like, she's just sitting and like listening, like smiling, sitting and listening to him talk and stuff like that. She's in his world. But when he's with her friends, he's on 10. Like, and it just shows that her inability, like in this connection, to like assert herself. um Also, another thing I think is so crazy is his lack of respect for her boundaries. Like, she writes in this notebook all the time. She writes poetry. Like, she's a poet, and I loved how they placed her poetry throughout the film. Like, she's reading her poetry, and it's like so beautiful. But she goes to the bathroom after bothering her about it. She says, "She's no, I don't want you to read it. No, you can't see." Like, da da da. Da. He reads it anyways, and she comes back. She's upset. And she's like, "Since you read it already, which one do you want me to read for you?" And he obviously is complimenting her. He like thinks it's good, but I just think that's such a big ick for me, especially because I have a journal. So imagine someone reading your personal thoughts, your writing that you don't want to share with anyone else, and them just reading it. Like, that is just so, that's like, you lack boundaries. You have no concern for my feelings. I think that's weird. That's weird. He's weird. He's weird. He's weird. He's weird. Literally, he's so weird. And I did not feel bad for him when he found out about the pregnancy through his cousin. Like, I did not feel 1 ounce of like, it did not move me. It did not move me. I think you're an asshole, especially in that moment, the way you treated her. Like, fuck you. And Ayana, she's just a 17-year-old girl. Like, she's trying her hardest. She's literally trying her hardest to work things out with him, and he's not moving. And I think this film um does a great job of showing an experience that a lot of young girls and women can relate to, especially with like an older man. I've never, thank God, I've never had to deal with like being in a relationship with an older man, because I think that would literally break me. Um, but I have been approached by older men when I was younger, and still now too, and it's like weird. I think it's gross. Um, and I think the film does a great job of showing like the power imbalance, like the insecurities. Um, it shows a great job of like this being like such her entry into the adult world, basically this relationship. Right before she goes away to college too. Like this, I really like this movie. And hmm, trying to think of other things I want to talk about. Like, this whole thing has been a rant about like fuck Isaiah, like literally fuck Isaiah, fuck Isaiah, fuck Isaiah. Like, he sucks. Like, he sucks. He sucks. He has. Let me summarize everything for y'all. He has poor communication skills. He's immature. And he's weird. He's weird. She was 17 when you met her. She's 17 at the end of the whole relationship still too. Like, you have the lack of compassion and consideration you have for her feelings is just like, it is so crazy, and you're the adult in the situation. But anyway, y'all, Thank you guys for listening to my rant of Premature. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't watched it, but you should definitely check it out and tell me what you think about this film. It's a 10 out of, well, I don't know if I'm gonna rate it. But it's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. You should check it out. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, night, whatever. Bye.